£17 million statement that could blow the Championship wide open, and Wrexham had just crashed the party alongside Premier League giants. Alright Wrexham fans, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. We're covering the Red Dragons like nobody else, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming. 3 absolutely massive stories for you today. We've got Parkinson rallying the troops at the racecourse, Reynolds and McElhenney getting roasted in their latest venture, and then, oh mate, stick around for the last one. We're talking about a transfer bombshell that could reshape Wrexham's entire Championship campaign. This is huge. Let's dive in. Story 1, Parkinson's battle cry. Right, first up, Phil Parkinson wants the racecourse absolutely bouncing tonight against Bristol City, and he's not messing about. Look, we all know what home form means to this club. 3 successive promotions didn't happen by accident. The racecourse has been a fortress, a proper nightmare for visiting teams. But here's the thing. We had a shaky start to life in the Championship on home soil. The lads were finding their feet at this level and it showed. But then something clicked. 3 straight wins at home, including that absolutely mental 3-2 victory over league leaders Coventry City. We ended their unbeaten run, folks, at our place. That's the kind of statement that turns heads across the division. Parkinson knows exactly what made the difference: the atmosphere. He's been banging on about it, and rightly so. After that Charlton match, he said the crowd was electric, and he's calling for more of the same tonight. He said, we've got to really crank the atmosphere up. No beating around the bush there. Matty James echoed the same thing. He wants the racecourse to be the kind of place where teams turn up already defeated, where they know they're in for absolute hell. And with Blackburn coming on Saturday as well, this is a proper double-header that could define our next few weeks. Sitting 14th in the Championship right now, every home point is absolutely vital. The gaffer's right. When this place is rocking, we're a different animal. But that's not the only news coming out of the racecourse.
So Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are at it again, and honestly, this might be the funniest thing they've done yet. The Deadpool and Wolverine stars announced they've bought into an Australian sailing team, the Bonds Flying Roos, competing in Sail GP. Yeah, sailing. Because apparently owning Wrexham wasn't enough for Ryan, he's now collecting sports teams like trading cards. They've just dropped the promotional video for this weekend's Abu Dhabi Grand Final, and mate, it's absolute gold. Jackman is already annoyed from the start, accusing Reynolds of knowing absolutely nothing about sailing. And he's not wrong. Ryan's doing his usual over-enthusiastic thing, trying to sound knowledgeable and failing spectacularly. The best bit? When sailor Tom Slingsby shows up, Reynolds has no clue who he is at first, then immediately goes, "Oh God, Tom Slingsby, wow, huge fan." Classic Ryan. But here's where Jackman delivers the knockout blow. When Slingsby suggests taking them out on the water, Jackman says, "Yeah, Ryan doesn't like water. He actually hired a life coach just to get in the tub. He's going to be a silent partner." Then he literally puts Reynolds on a quiet chair, which turns out to be an entire room. Brutal. Look, it's brilliant marketing, and it shows what Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bring to the table beyond just money. They understand modern sports entertainment. They get how to build a brand, how to engage fans, how to make people care. That's what they've done with Wrexham, and now they're expanding the empire. The Roos are chasing their 4th Championship title this weekend, and whether Reynolds knows anything about sailing or not, he's got a knack for backing winners. Now those were big, but what I'm about to tell you next could completely reshape Wrexham's season. This is massive.
Royce, here we go. The story everyone needs to hear. Wrexham AFC are reportedly in the race to sign 17-year-old French striker Sidiki Cherif from Angers, and here's the kicker. They're going head-to-head with Newcastle United, Sunderland and Fulham, 3 Premier League and Championship clubs, and we're matching them stride for stride. Let that sink in for a second. Wrexham, from the National League just 3 years ago, now competing with the big boys for a £17 million rated teenager. This isn't just a transfer story, this is a statement of intent that echoes across the entire championship. According to Football Insider, Sharif is the real deal. 3 goals in his last 6 games for Angers, and he's absolutely loving life in Western France. But here's where it gets interesting. Angers are in financial trouble. French football, as The Guardian reported, is in financial ruin at the elite level, and clubs are being forced to balance the books. That's where Wrexham see their opportunity. Now you're probably thinking, why would an 18-year-old phenom choose Wrexham over Newcastle or Fulham? Fair question, and here's the answer. Game time. Premier League clubs can promise you the world, but what they can't promise is consistent first-team football. Sharif would be another talented kid fighting for scraps in a massive squad. But at Wrexham, Phil Parkinson's building something special, and there's a genuine pathway to being a key player in a promotion push. That's the pitch. That's what Rob and Ryan are selling. And let's be honest, the Hollywood ownership doesn't hurt. The global platform, the Disney Plus documentary, the media attention, playing for Wrexham right now means the world is watching. That's a unique selling point no other championship club can match. But here's what nobody's talking about yet. This isn't just about Sharif. It's about Wrexham's entire transfer strategy shifting gears. The report mentions that the club has identified the European market as offering way better value than Britain. That's smart business. While English clubs are paying inflated prices for championship players, Wrexham are scouring France, Belgium, the Netherlands for undervalued gems. And they're willing to break their transfer record to do it. That's huge, folks. Think about where we are right now. 3 points off the playoffs, sitting 14th. The season's at a crucial point. A signing like Sharif in January could be the difference between a mid-table finish and a genuine shot at promotion. He's young, he's rapid, he's got an eye for goal, exactly the kind of spark Parkinson needs to complement what we've already got. Now, what would you do if you were Phil Parkinson? You've got a squad that's adapted brilliantly to the championship, you found your rhythm at home, but you're missing that cutting edge up top. Sharif could be the missing piece. And let's connect this to the Ryan Hardy situation mentioned in the reports. If we're seriously pursuing a £17 million striker whilst developing other attacking options, that tells you everything about Reynolds and McElhenney's ambition. They're not here to tread water, they want the Premier League and they want it soon. The real story here is what this means for Wrexham's identity. We've always been the underdog, the scrappy Welsh club punching above its weight, but competing with Newcastle for teenagers, that's a different level. That's Wrexham saying, we're here, we're serious, and we're not going anywhere. Is this the signing that gets us promoted? Maybe, maybe not. But it's the kind of move that changes how other clubs see us. It's a power play. It's Reynolds and McElhenney saying, we'll go toe-to-toe with anyone. Here's what I think happens next. January is going to be absolutely wild. If Wrexham pull this off, it sends shockwaves through the division. If they don't, it still shows ambition that'll attract other players. Either way, the message is clear. This club is going places. So there you have it. Parkinson wants the racecourse rocking for a crucial doubleheader. Reynolds is getting absolutely roasted by Jackman in their sailing venture. And Wrexham are about to crash the Premier League party with a £17 million transfer bombshell. 3 years ago, we were in the National League. Now we're competing with Newcastle for French wonder kids. That's the Wrexham story. That's what Hollywood ownership looks like when it's done right. We're 14th in the Championship, 3 points off the playoffs, and January could define everything. This is the moment. This is where legends are made. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited or worried about spending £17 million on an 18-year-old? Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds.